This morning, and this is confirmation that Lotus has said hundreds of jobs are to go at its UK headquarters in Norfolk. The luxury car maker, based at Hethel near Wymondham, had previously denied reports it was to close its factory there and set up a new plant in the US. But it has now emerged that 550 of the 1,300 strong workforce in Norfolk will be made redundant. A very sad day for Norfolk, which has been the home of the brand since the 1960s. The South Norfolk MP, Ben Goldsborough, is with us. Ben, thanks very much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Morning, Chris.
Now, there were rumours at the start of the summer, weren't there, about what might happen, and for a while it did seem as if Lotus in Norfolk might be under threat altogether. I know you've been talking to the company since, so that this news now, 550 jobs to go, it's a huge blow for Norfolk, isn't it?
No, yesterday was a very dark day for Norfolk, and an absolute gut punch for many people who will be my constituents or friends and neighbours of many of your listeners this morning as well, because as someone who's gone through redundancy a couple of times in my life, it is, you hear that news and you're like, what does this mean, that I'm now one paycheck away from not being able to pay the mortgage or the rent, or Christmas is coming up? Your mind fizzes with worry. So, this is, as you say, a very worrying and dark time for a lot of people in our communities right now.
Why has it come to this?
There's several factors, really. But the big elephant in the room that we need to talk about is obviously President Trump's trade war that he's unleashed along the world, especially in the automotive sector. Obviously, he's decided that protectionism is the best way of saving Detroit and all the other US manufacturing centres of vehicles, but all that's done is unleashed merry hell within the automotive sector everywhere else, because protectionism doesn't actually protect anyone, it just harms everyone. So as much as the UK government did extremely well to get the best trade deal on the automotive sector of any other nation on the planet, obviously there was that time where between Donald Trump slapping on the huge tariffs and getting the new tariffs in, that stalled the market. It put a lot of concern within the manufacturers of if they could actually sell their products into the United States. And Lotus, one of its main markets is American buyers. So that put a drag on the company. And from that point there, we heard, as you mentioned at the start of this, in the back end of June, there was rumours that there might be completely closing in Norfolk, and obviously that's now been avoided, but it still comes with the pain of 550 job losses.
The tariffs, I'm sure, are a factor, but there have been rumours and there have been concerns about the long-term security of Lotus since a long time before these tariffs were announced.
Yes, it's the thing with Lotus. It's one of those sort of quirky companies that we love to bits, but we always know that it goes up and down like a roller coaster in terms of its history. I mean, we can go back to the 90s and we saw this happen back then. We can go back to the 80s, that they produce these fantastic vehicles, but sometimes they go through financial trouble. And that's the reason why I think it's the underdog, isn't it? It's the reason why we love it to bits, because it keeps trying so hard to just keep going. And the thing as well that makes Lotus so special is the people that work there. And we all know that they've got skills that are just absolutely eye-watering. The engineering that comes out of there, the new technology that they invent constantly. And that's why I feel that, yes, we've got 550 job losses, but the site has been secured now for the years to come in the future, which means that we can have a springboard now from those foundations, those people that do make the plant tick in such an amazing way, that I am hopeful for the future. The international outlook will get better. It will stabilise when people get used to things as they now are. And that's why I think that long term, we will get to a place which is a lot better for Lotus.
But what are you basing that on? How sure are you that this isn't the beginning of the end of Lotus in Norfolk?
What I'm basing this on is, obviously, since this news broke, as I say, back end of June, I've spent the last 2 months effectively just living hand in glove with both the British management of Lotus and also the Secretary of State and the Minister of State for Industry and the Department of Work and Pensions. There is so much work that's been going on behind the scenes to secure the longevity of the plant, trying to think of ingenious new ways of thinking of how we can use such fantastic facilities there. You know, if you go to the shop floor there, you'll see that it's roboticized up to the eyeballs. It's got the most latest manufacturing techniques, and that means that we can look forward to different ways of trying to use the site and securing the jobs long term. We've got the changes in technology to battery technology. Now, how can we use the site for that? Is it things external to automotive manufacturing as well? There's so many different things that we can now do. Now we've got this security from Geely, the Chinese ownership. That means that we can now look forward to actually how do we keep developing and building upon the foundations that we've got there.
But that doesn't help the 550 people who are about to lose their jobs. What support will there be for those people?
No, you're spot on there, and I don't say any of this glibly. One of the things that I've been doing is I'm one of those people that always plans for the worst and hopes for the best. So during these 2 months of conversations that I've been having as a local MP, I've also been warming up the Department for Work and Pensions and the Department for Business and Trade to make sure that we could swoop in and link people who will be losing their jobs to the high quality jobs that they deserve. Because I don't just want people going from these jobs to ones that just about manage. They can just about pay checks at the end of the day. I want people going from the highly skilled workforce that they have and securing those jobs. So that's now what we will be doing. I've already started these conversations. I've started the conversations with the Lotus management as well to make sure that we can go on site and we can support people in linking up with these works that are available. I know it will probably be down the road in Cambridge, or there will be other employers in Norwich, for example, but this is what we're going to do. My team is also on standby for all constituents. They just need to pick up the phone to my Long Stratton office or drop me an email, and I will do everything, because I know how this feels like. This has happened to me, and I just want, even if it's someone you can just talk to, that is also what I'm here for.
How transferable are those skills, though, within the Norfolk community? Lotus, you've already mentioned, is a unique company in Norfolk, isn't it? So a lot of these people, they may have families here, they may be settled here. They are going to have to look further afield for employment, aren't they?
Potentially, but we are very fortunate within Norfolk, though, because we do have a good high-tech base of high-tech engineering that we have, be it with the renewable sector, which obviously we are an absolute booming corner of the United Kingdom for that, for offshore wind, for solar, whatever it happens to be, with the Bacton gas terminal as well, what will go for the future of that in terms of carbon capture and storage. There are other opportunities as well. If we go to Norwich, if we go to the airport, there are a lot of opportunities out there. We have a very low unemployment rate as well in Norfolk, which again goes to show that we've got businesses that are really always attracted to coming here and setting up. And then obviously in my own patch, I've got places like the Hethel Innovation Centre and also the Norwich Research Park. So I am confident that we can link people up to these highly skilled jobs that they deserve.
And just to finish with, you've been talking to the company, you've been talking to the staff as well, from what you've said there. Do you have a time scale? The redundancies were confirmed yesterday. How long is the process now? How long is it going to be before people are out of work?
Yeah, so I understand from Lotus's statement yesterday as well that it's the sort of the hammer blow, the final coming down of the curtain on this will be December of this year. So we have a little bit of time right now to see who would want to take voluntary redundancy, and who, obviously, if we can't fulfill all those numbers with that, then there will be the compulsory redundancy. But that gives us also the time to keep coming back in with the DWP, to keep trying to support people with finding that new work that they deserve. So that is the other thing that I keep saying to people. Right now, you're digesting the worst news. You never want to hear this. But we have time to try and link people up to those new jobs now, and they just need to ask for help. I know we're a proud old bunch in Norfolk. We don't like to ask for help a lot of the time, but I think it's times like this that people do need to realise that if you reach out, there are people that are waiting to give you a hand.
Ben Goldsborough, MP for South Norfolk, thank you very much for joining us.